All right. Hope that played. Did you see that as well? Did you experience that glitch?
I heard it sound like our opening theme. That's all I noticed.
All right. Perfect. Well, welcome back, everyone. LinkedIn literacy. This is the Power Hour, and
Ooh.
I learned not too long ago from a good friend that I made a LinkedIn connection with. If you're not having fun, then you're not doing it. That is his motto. Lion Flood. I totally respect that and kind of leaning into this. I'm having fun with these events, having fun each and every time our audience engages in these events. And I'm looking forward to what is somewhat of a reunion. You've been away for a couple of weeks.
I
Uh,
was three
I
weeks.
know there's some exciting stories, and for those who may not know part of the narrative, we are now among. Hold on. We are now among LinkedIn royalty.
Well, I appreciate the vote of confidence there. Thank you.
You spent, and I'm not gonna steal your thunder, but you spent some time with a well-known and respectable LinkedIn voice.
Yep.
Tell us a little bit about your adventures and what the last few weeks looked and felt like for you.
Oh, wow, that's a lot. So I learned my lesson and reminded myself to weigh my suitcase before I leave for the airport. I will never do that again.
What did that cost you?
I'm embarrassed to say, a couple $100.
Yeah.
But I fixed it, so I fixed it later, but yeah, it was a thing. So what happened was I had a brand new suitcase, and I'm just used to filling it up. My old suitcase, I didn't realize it was smaller. So my old suitcase itself managed itself, I guess. So my nice big new suitcase, it had like another 6 inches at the top and put me over. So I learned my lesson. So that was one thing. Another great thing. So everybody here, I'm sure, recognizes my coach, Yasmin Alish. Want to make sure I pronounce his name correctly. I'm in a community. I'm in his community, and I won the quarterly trip to Bosnia and a free coaching one-on-one session. And so it's so cool. I spent time with a lot of other LinkedIn creators, and the awesome thing is, just like we all preach, he attracts his tribe. Every one of them, they're nice, smart, awesome people. I There was someone there from Croatia, someone there from Scotland, of all places, a couple of us from the US, of course a lot of locals in Bosnia, and someone that's from Italy that's living in Okinawa, and then someone else from Mexico living in Italy. I mean, it was this great international experience, and these people were smart, and I was just sitting there soaking it all up. It was great. And of course, I learned a lot from Yasmin. He gave me a brand refresh. So you can see that my colors are a little bit more professional looking, and he's the one that did all the graphics on my profile.
That is awesome. So to be among some of the top names, listen, that is a feather in anyone's cap, a feather that many people aspire to get to, and you have got that feather in your
Oh
cap. So
yeah, I
congratulations to you. So let's
thank
give you a
you.
big round of applause.
Thank you. Well, I got to hear some of his music. If you followed him at all, you probably know he used to be a rapper, but he doesn't have any of his catalog commercially available anymore. So he's playing rap music, and I'm the rocker. I don't know any of that music, and if it's not Tupac or MC Hammer, I'm like, I don't know. So but he's playing this song, and I'm like, oh, it's got a good beat. It had some singers too. It wasn't all rap. I'm singing along with the singers because I'm goofy that way. I'll sing along with music I do not know. And so this rapper was going, and it was like a guitar solo. It was just so pristine and quick. It was amazing. Long story short, it was him. I had no idea.
Oh
So
wow!
it's
Does he do?
amazing.
He does like a cover band, cover songs.
No, he was writing his own stuff. He's a
He
writer,
his
right?
own
We
stuff.
all know this. He's a writer. He's very gifted, very,
That's awesome.
very creative. So yes, it was his own stuff, and I enjoyed it. It was great. We just drove around the countryside and listened to music, and I had a great time.
Well, I can't be more happy to know that you had that experience, and now that you play a part of my community and the narrative, and we share the same stage with someone who has gone and continues to go through coaching and mentorship through Jasmine Alish. I think for the longest time, everyone's been saying Alik.
Yes, I probably still got it wrong, but I try hard. So
That is amazing. Well, thanks for sharing that. I want to take a moment to welcome our audience members who have joined in. We're going to try something new, something different. A couple of weeks ago, I tested some interactive software that perhaps didn't work as well as I had anticipated. We're going to try something else out. And if it works, great. And if it doesn't, we're going to shelve it and move on. All right. So what do we know LinkedIn as? We know LinkedIn has a global community, a community of over 1 billion members across 200 different countries. And now Shelly could say that she visited one of those. Actually, you visited a couple. You were also in the UK?
yes, I visited London too, which was amazing. I met, I don't know if you know her. I met Anu there, so we collaborated a little bit one morning. I haven't had time to even post about it yet, but it's on the list.
That is amazing. So for those joining us, let us know where you're joining from. But before you do, I'm going to queue up. Give me a second here. Let's play. I want to play some. Nah, we're not going to play any music. Why don't you keep the crowd entertained for a second while I queue this up? Are you good with that?
Oh, sure. So how shall I entertain them? What do we want to talk about?
Well, the stage is yours, my friend.
All right. So
continue to talk about whatever's on your mind.
My friend, our friend Lynn Lang is on the call. She helped me with my flights and my excursions in London. She was a great help. She helped me get a room at the Tower. If you've ever heard of the Tower of London, I was there. It was amazing, beautiful trip. Thank you so much, Lynn. She did great. And I've never done the Viator thing where you can actually pick excursions online, super easy, get your ticket so you can just go do whatever you want and not have to wait in line for a ticket. So you buy it online, you download their app, and then you have that ticket in your phone. So it worked out great.
Awesome. All right, let's test something out now. We have an interactive tool that I'm testing out. Take a moment and let us know where you're from. Some people have already entered in the comments, and if you notice, the pins are starting to populate. This is interactive, it's immersive, and it got me all excited. So,
crap, that's me. Sorry.
No, that's good. That's all fine.
I'm trying to figure out where I can reply.
All right. So if you jump into go into your LinkedIn tab, make sure that the tab is muted so that we don't.
That's what I don't know how to do, is mute just a tab.
So if you hover over with your mouse and right click on the URL tab at the top of your menu bar, if you right click it, there should be a mute tab option.
Nope. Hold on. Oh, there it is. It's muted now.
Okay, perfect. So now you can interact in the comments through your LinkedIn feed.
All right. We'll see.
All right. So we have most of our participants joining from the U.S. We got West Coast. We have East Coast. We have Southern U.S. And I'm sure if I zoomed in, I could name the states. But I like how this is. Oh, did someone pop up in Africa?
Oh, it's kind of cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, look at this. We have people joining us from Europe. Love it. This is working. So the first test has passed with flying colors. So now we know that this is working. We'll continue to lean into some of the slides that I have ready, and so that we can engage. It's the whole point and the premise is to keep our audience engaged and keep the comments flowing. I have full belief that if we keep the conversation going and keep everyone engaged, there is a thought that if you get to 100 comments within the hour, within your event, it really opens up the algorithm and it pushes your show to a wider audience. So we're gonna test this out. All right. Now we have an agenda today that you and I spoke of briefly. I know that we haven't had the chance or the opportunity to talk much, as we have become busier and busier with our business ventures. But today's topic is around content strategy. So let's give me a second here. Let's jump back. Stop sharing for a second. Bring us back. And bring up our subject matter. Content strategy. Bum-ba-da-da. Hold on. I got effects for that. Right? We're really leaning into these sound effects. Meryl loves them. And yeah. I'm starting to get a real hit of dopamine every time I hit that button. All right. I'll try not to overdo it. How's that?
Okay.
Content strategy. Where do we begin? Content can be taken into so many directions.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's a lot to it, right? So it's not just, and when you talk content strategy, we're not talking writing, right? We're talking the strategy, how you deploy the content that you're writing, because we all want to get the personal stories out there. We want to make sure we're talking to our ICP. We also want to make sure that we're keeping it interesting. And so there's a lot to it. So you have your content balance and mix. You want to make sure that your messaging is consistent, so you're attracting who you want. Of course, this is going to include the type of content that you write, your ICP roadmap. And what's an ICP, Americo?
Ideal customer profile.
Yes, there's a roadmap. You want to know where your ideal customer is on their journey, or their yellow brick road, whatever you want to call it, with their clients, right? So content strategy includes how you talk about your offer, and content types and formats, of course, text only versus video, etc. What to avoid. There are a lot of things that can mess you up, and how to look at your content. Content pillars. Yeah.
Can I lean in on that?
Sure.
What to avoid. Do everyday moments belong on LinkedIn? I want to address the elephant in the room. Some people rode the coattails of the Coldplay incident. Yeah. And others respectfully stayed away from it.
Here's the answer to that question. It's going to depend upon your brand. If it is not part of your brand, I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. I didn't. So for my brand, and I can speak to that, I spoke to it in my post. I did a poll, my highest performing poll, by the way. I did a poll, and I spun it in a way from a professional corporate standpoint. I didn't talk about the morality, their monkey business is really none of my business, right? I will save that conversation for my girlfriends over cocktails, right? So I'm not going to talk about that on LinkedIn. But what I will talk about is, he's a CEO. He should know better. And she's in HR. What is wrong with these people? Like it's so you have conflict of interest. You have is it elitism, or the high, the senior people, they think they're above requirements or policy. That's another question that calls into mind. So what is the culture like there? Does all the staff know what's going on? Because I've been in a situation where two high-level figures were carrying on, and it's hard on the staff. So for Shelly Spence, for my brand, I posted about it in confidence because, number one, I didn't get into the sordid details. I didn't name names, didn't name the company, but I talked about the things that matter to my ICP, the professionalism side. Did that answer your question?
Absolutely. I didn't post about it, but I did mention, there are little mentions throughout some of the shows.
Oh, it's all over.
But it is all over. And I do believe, and I would say that some people took the virality to a whole new level and just rode.
Oh.
Right. And took advantage of it for their personal gain. Vanity more so than anything.
I can speak to that.
Let's hear it.
If you don't mind.
Your thoughts.
That bothered me a little bit. So when I first read the post, someone else's post, a very nice new connection that I met through this. So one of his commenters showed the apology email. You know, whenever these big things happen and someone sends an apology, and there was a line in there, and this is what stuck in my craw, and this is what got me posting about it. So I kind of did jump on a bandwagon, but it said this was a private moment that Coldplay decided to make public, like getting a little dig in there. And I thought, who is this idiot? How can he not know that he's going to be shown, or there's potential of him being shown? When you buy tickets, especially for these big venues, you sign something, or when you click buy, you're agreeing to being filmed. And I thought, what an idiot. Turns out he didn't write that letter. So thank goodness. What's that?
Of course he didn't. Executives typically don't.
Yeah. So thank God I did some Googling before I posted, and I realized, oh, this letter has not been authenticated. So I softened the tone of that piece of my post. And then when it did come out that he hadn't published that, then I put in a disclaimer and explained. But, you know, there were other people after it had come out that it wasn't real. They were still posting and just mocking this poor dumb guy for not knowing. And I'm thinking, so I feel like a lot of this is from my work. You know, when I was in mortgage and I was publishing guidelines and I was making decisions based upon the guidelines, I felt like I had to make sure everything I said and everything I used in my day-to-day was authentic and true and accurate. So, you know, now that I'm creating on LinkedIn, I take that same philosophy when I'm posting, because I know I've made mistakes. I know I've bumped my head. Forgive me, LinkedIn. But I do my very best and try to make sure everything I post is accurate. So long story short, you know, that would be one thing I would caution anybody. If you're going to be posting on LinkedIn, and especially if it's going to be a hot topic, make sure, in my mind, it is of low character to post something for the sake of virality when you're not sure that it's true. I think that's cheesy. That's my vote.
This is a great segue to, let me cue this one up. What's one thing, a LinkedIn myth, you wish people would stop believing in? And sometimes it's something we read and people just jump on it. They see it as this next shiny trend, and everyone just kind of rides on someone's message without having any quantifiable data to back it up.
I do have another illustration for that if you're interested. I know I'm hogging the mic today.
No, this is not the Americo show. This is LinkedIn Literacy Power Hour.
So I don't really follow a lot of it anymore, but I, you know, in my real life outside of LinkedIn, I watch a lot of true crime. I find it fascinating. I am interested in the psychology behind the criminal mindset, the victim mindset, and it's not just a passing fancy. I study these things just for fun. And so I came across something in my feed, and it was getting monster engagement. Thousands of likes, and, you know, all the engagement things, hundreds, if not thousands of comments, and it was on fire. And it was an article. This guy posted a screenshot of a mugshot that was shown on a news program. And it was about a couple who were exploiting young women. And I can't remember the whole story, but they would drug young women, get them to the hotel room, and have, you know, they would do their naughty business. And it was a terrible story, and you know, exploiting these young girls. And of course, you know, I'm instantly, my mind's like, oh, that's terrible. And then I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, they look familiar. And so I Googled it. It was some show I'd seen. I was familiar with them. And it turns out they had been arrested and they convicted and thrown in jail 2 years prior. There had not been one news article in the 2 years since they were thrown in jail. But if you read this guy's post, he made it sound like it just happened. He was just wanting to stir up rage, clickbait, for the sake of virality with no substance. You know, why do we need to spark outrage over something that our justice system already addressed, and they're in jail paying their price, right? It was just for the virality. And so that's a no-no. I think that again, that shows low character, and that's cheesy. And of course, I swiftly blocked him because I don't want that stuff in my feed. I have enough outrage in my life without manufacturing it.
Well, here's my thought. There are so many different opinions. You can ask 10 different top voices a question and get 10 different points of view. The one thing that I wish people would stop is the bantering and the negative talk, putting some of what other people are saying. People are sharing what works for them. They are sharing what LinkedIn looks and feels like through their lens. So for people to not only not believe it, but then go down a rabbit hole to try to besmirch someone's name, someone's reputation, I'd love to see less of that happening.
That's not going to happen. It's human nature. There's a certain subset of people that they thrive on negativity. And
I get it. I know it's
like asking for world peace. Seriously, there's always. I wish it wasn't this way. I wish we could do something to change it, but those people are assholes because they like being assholes. I'm going to tell you. And there's exceptions to every rule, and I'm not a therapist, but one thing I've learned, those people like being that way. They enjoy poking the bear. They enjoy making someone else feel lose their confidence, make them feel less than, and so unfortunately it's just a part of doing business in social media.
All right, so here's a comment from Spencer. That LinkedIn's only for serious business? Really? It's basically a fancy pub quiz. I like that. Where everyone's bragging about their spreadsheets and no one's having a proper pint.
I would love to have a proper pint. No, not I. That's one thing I love about LinkedIn. Thank you for that, Spencer. Is you can talk about business, but it doesn't always have to be serious. Because are we serious? I know when I was working in mortgage, like 10, 12 hours a day, I was working hard the whole time, but I was not serious Shelly all the time. You got to have a little fun, right? So the cool thing about LinkedIn that you can talk about personal things, you can bring in a little humor, you can underscore professional viewpoints without it being super serious all the time.
I agree. Well, while agreeing, I still have a difficult time bringing a little bit of my personal story and my personal narrative, and that's a work in progress. I've made some strides in that particular area, and when you bring it back to the whole content piece and the strategy, it does work in moderation, bite-sized pieces. Let my guard down and share a little bit of what's going on in my space outside of work, professional realm. It starts to resonate with people, and people start to let their guards down and reach out and engage. So there is some quantifiable data that support that this works. The whole storytelling does not have to be exclusively professional and polished.
No.
Be vulnerable, be comfortable with being vulnerable, and also understand the balance and where to draw the line. Because bringing your vulnerability to a certain point where people might think, all right, you're just looking for empathy, you're just looking for whatever. People start judging. So it's really about finding the balance, finding that sweet spot. And everyone is going to have a different sweet spot. Yes. I might be comfortable pushing the envelope to a certain degree where someone else might not be able to go as far as I am. Yet there are others who are willing to go further than I'm ever able to. Right?
Well, listen, I'm not on here. I mean, I am having a lot of fun. I'm traveling the world, meeting great people. And so I don't want to say I'm on here just for fun, not on here for fun. But the bottom line is I'm putting all this work in. I want to make some money, right? And it is shown when you have a personal brand, including some of your personal life, some of your dreams and aspirations or whatever, that people will be more apt to buy. And so I'm going to do it.
All right. So let's try to keep this fun and not go down a real deep rabbit hole on whole content strategy. Keep it lighthearted. Let's talk a little bit about engagement strategy. I noticed, and I'm guessing it's by design. I know you stepped away for a couple of weeks, and now that you're back, I noticed a shift in your strategy. Is that by design, or
What,
is
what
that
did you
just
observe? What did you observe? Let's see.
all right? So uh, you're not posting as often, but you're coming up in my feed and comments everywhere. You're
Um,
engaging a lot more. Well,
oh, yes, I have. That's
so
good to hear.
I'm seeing a lot more engagement through comments,
Oh,
and I'm I'm seeing and witnessing a shift in your strategy, or at least the algorithm has reprioritized how you're engaging.
that's
If I go into your
interesting.
profile, I know that the frequency you have pulled back on the frequency of posts.
I did. I mean, so I think I mentioned it earlier. I went on my trip and I got sick. And so I was trying to between, I got home and between the jet lag and being sick, and I did have a personal matter I had to attend to that took quite a bit of time. And so I didn't have the time. But so when I came back a few days ago, I just started with the commenting. So my goal is, as you know, to knock out 50 a day, and I haven't been able to do that for a while. But yes, I'm strategically looking for new people to meet, commenting on. I'm still staying within brand, right? I'm not commenting just to make friends, but I'm looking for colleagues, for peers, for competitors, and for my ICP. And it's fun. I'm meeting some great people, so it's working out really well. But it's good to hear you. So what you're saying is you're seeing more of my content or more of my comments in your feed. So the algorithm is giving you a heads up. Hey, Shelly's talking over here.
Yes.
Awesome.
And
Okay, good to
in
know.
case you're looking for a true crimes friend, Ronald is that's his guilty pleasure as well.
Awesome. I
So
will
if you're not
find you,
connected
Ronald.
with
Yeah.
Ronald, reach
I will
out.
find out. I can't comment in here properly somehow. I don't want to mess up but yes, it's good. It's always good to have friends with interest in common. And actually, I intended to start talking about true crime just a little bit. So, because again, part of my personal brand, people get to know me. They know that I'm curious. I had a little bit of dark, something there just because the macabre interests me. But also, too, it's again, as I mentioned earlier, the psychology behind crime fascinates me. So, anyway, I do intend to bring a little bit of that fascination into my content strategy.
So kudos for you. Let's dive a little deeper on the whole commenting thing, because it is trending. We're hearing a lot more top voices suggesting, hey, this is a strategy on its own. You can avoid posting. You can stick to commenting only and be as successful, regardless of what your objective is. If you're a job seeker, if you're a sales professional, or if you're
Yep,
a business owner.
I agree. I agree. I have an underwriting friend in my former industry. She's an underwriter. I didn't know her before LinkedIn. And as far as I know, she never posts. And but she's on my mind. So if I ever do have to go back to that industry and I'm looking for an underwriter, she'd be on the list of people I talk to because I know her character. I know she's articulate. I know she works hard. I know a lot of people that know her and that have worked with her, so I could get references for her work easily. And all she's done, she has made a friend in me. And I used to be a hiring manager. So just from her commenting, she has raised her visibility and raised her prospects in case she has to look for a job again, which is amazing, right?
So it is amazing. And I want to share a story for those who haven't followed along the last couple of days. There was something that unfolded, and I kind of leaned into it and created some content around it, and gave it a name and a framework. Uh, these events gave us an opportunity to create a paradigm that we played out in real time. I'll give you a little bit of the backstory. There was a LinkedIn member not connected with me. I did not know this person. Goes by the name of Zain Al Zain. He's out in Western Canada. Job seeker, looking for an opportunity. Outside the box thinker. He decides, he's having difficulty just applying and getting ghosted. So he calls a local radio show, the Dylan and Pepper Show, morning show out in his local area. And he takes his narrative, the show onto the public airways in his hometown. A friend of mine is listening to this breakfast radio show, reaches out to me, saying, "Hey, I just heard this story. I want to create a post and amplify and help this person. Can you help me proofread and create a post that will have some kind of bite and gain some traction?" Like, well, let's do better than that. Let's put the LinkedIn effect into work, put it into play. Send me his LinkedIn profile. I'm going to reach out to him. So that's exactly what I did. Connected with this gentleman. I am now guest speaking on Keith Keller's Anchor Day show, and I shared the same story with him. It's like, oh my goodness, wouldn't it be fascinating if we can get him on the show and give him a little bit of a spotlight? So, well, let's give this a try. This is real time. I send him a DM. Are you open to coming on the show? Doesn't he show up, share his story, share his narrative? We now have content that he can repurpose. He's got a story that he can lean into and a strategy that sets him apart from anyone else. We've presented him to our communities, and when you look at the aggregate amount, I think we're up to 80,000 plus followers that among all the people that we've put him in front of. He's now getting contacts and people reaching out to him, getting the profile views. And this is the LinkedIn effect. It was part of my strategy, part of strategy that others kind of lean into. So proof that this works, whether it's through written content or through social audio, social events, these virtual events are a great way, and people shouldn't underestimate the power and consider these as part of their strategy as well.
Very good.
This is now the fourth time we're sharing this story, and it keeps trickling into the LinkedIn ecosystem.
Isn't that amazing? Where else would you find this opportunity to get your message out?
Seriously. You wouldn't. And if we go back to the opportunity that you've just experienced weeks ago, when you were underwriting mortgage applications, would you think that you would win the trip from someone on LinkedIn,
No.
Someone who was able to transform and change your life?
It never occurred to me in a million years. When my coach, and you know Rich, right? Rich Serbinsky.
Mm-hmm.
When he first told me, Shelly, you need to get on LinkedIn. And I'm like, oh gosh, I knew he was right because I saw something in here, but I hadn't figured it out yet. But when he said that to me, it never occurred to me that Americo DaCosta from Canada would want to do a monthly show with me, right? It's the thing about LinkedIn. I have alluded to this in posts. I don't think I've had a full post on it, but LinkedIn will bring you opportunity you never dreamt of. And that opportunity, I don't think is available anywhere else, except for maybe another social media platform. I don't know about those, but.
Okay, Spencer has another question for you, Shelly.
All right.
Not content related. Shelly, you've been all over the globe. Where's the best spot to kick back, forget about all LinkedIn, and just have a proper relax?
Proper relax is different than vacationing, right? When I go on a vacation, I want to do a lot of fun things. I want to sightsee and learn something about history, but a proper relax is going to be probably down in Cabo by the pool. But I can't take more than 3 days of that. Like 2 or 3 days of that kind of, I'm decompressing. Anything more than that's too much. Then I want to get up and go do something. But yeah, Cabo is great if you get a chance to go.
All right, let's jump in. And Bill Rochelle, I used to post and dip. Wasn't about engagement, just saying what I felt. But now I see if you speak up, you got to stay in the conversation. Yes. Absolutely. I totally agree. And since we're on the air, why don't we take a moment to thank Bill, who invited me to attend and speak at UBU Live. If you're not following Bill, let's give Bill a plug here. He's got a fantastic community over in Florida, a huge global community on LinkedIn and many other social channels. He's got a lot of great stuff going on. take a listen. I'm going to toot my horn here for 2 seconds. Take a listen to our call, our conversation, but more importantly, take a listen to some of the great guests that he's had. And part of his content strategy is events as well, and it's working for him. Thank you, my friend. All right, let's get this back on track. We talked about content strategy. We're trying to keep this lighthearted. Event strategy. You probably know by now, I'm all about these live events, and I'm starting to build marketing funnels around these events. But there are other events style and type of strategies that work. And you're doing events yourself. You're doing cohorts. That's part of your strategy to build your community. Completely different.
Yes.
Why don't you talk to me a little bit about your strategy and why you feel that this is a fit for you?
Well, thank you. That's one of my favorite topics. So the reason I think cohorts was for the way for me to go is I love teaching, and I'm a teacher at heart. I love creating. It takes me a little while, but I love creating material and imparting knowledge, answering questions, getting conversation going, and making people think. I get a lot of what I call professional joy out of that. And as far as LinkedIn goes, I'm so excited about the opportunity that we can have here. Everybody, executive, individual contributor, self-employed, entrepreneur, whatever. There's opportunity for every single person on here. And I'm so excited, and I want to share that message, and I want to show people how to harness it, how to leverage it to make it work for them. And it's an exciting thing to me. So the reason I picked the training was for those reasons. And also, number two, I like to write. However, the thing is with the training, my ADD brain can't cause any real damage. I have all my notes. I have my presentation. I could not ghostwrite for someone else in a million years. I would make a terrible typo and look like an ass and feel stupid. So anyway.
But there is an offer on the table that I'm still accepting, and I will wait ever so.
Oh yeah, I'm back from my trip. Yeah,
I'm not going to put any pressure.
Well, thank you for reminding me. Yeah, let's talk offline. Yeah.
So Shelly's going to write a piece for me,
but you're going to proofread it.
I'll proofread it.
Okay. Thank
you. We'll build a whole story around it. And my intuition is saying that, well, Miracle, you should get Shelly to write more of your content. I'm just putting it out there.
I think it'd be great fun, but that's not my aspiration. But I
know it isn't. I know it isn't.
I do. I have friends that are ghostwriters, so good folks. So if you want me to connect you, I will.
Listen, this is
anybody else on here.
This is just me saying and suggesting that you do a fabulous job with your content.
Oh, you're so
sweet. I know that anyone who makes the investment in your cohort will be in good hands and learn how to improve how they show up here on LinkedIn.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. That is coming from the heart.
I appreciate that. Go ahead.
You and I connected, I think, well over a year ago. We have a lot of mutual connections, but you know instantly when someone belongs in your tribe. And I picked up on that a few thousand followers ago. And it's great to pull up in a lane next to someone who's on the same journey that we are, and to share milestones and celebrate those together. So I'm proud that you're part of my narrative as well.
Well, thank you. Likewise, I was just thinking earlier, when I'm thinking about all the friends I've made on here, and I plan on keeping you as a friend for the rest of my life. Like, we're good friends. So I really believe in this place.
Yeah. So do I. And here's some advice I'm going to share, because I know you shared with me when I attended your first cohort. No one here or no one listening on replay should get upset, offended when someone who's a close connection to you stops engaging. There's a purpose and a reason as to why someone might do that. And that's simply because they want to broaden their circle and build their community.
Yes.
As your community grows, you simply don't have enough time to engage with 6,000, 7,000, 9,000, however many followers. Right?
I tried.
So advice for anyone listening, if you're wondering, why isn't so-and-so engaging with me? And it's not intentional. It's not done on purpose. It's just, wish them well because they're growing.
Go ahead. Pardon me.
Go ahead. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
As your real friends are going to understand. They want you to make money. I adore you, Americo, but I know you want me to make money.
Absolutely.
And likewise, right? I want you to make money. So I do try to spread the love, but I don't want to stay right in just my little cocoon of friends. And that I did that for a few months, and it hurt me. My impressions went down. My engagement was great, but it was all just my little friends. And so I learned that part of growing your network is to go out and meet people outside of your network.
Absolutely.
So that's super important.
Yeah.
But your friends understand.
And we also got to understand, we're talking about different content strategies. There are also signals within any strategy that you choose. So whether you're just commenting, engaging, posting, people are going to engage. People are going to immerse themselves in your content. Understanding the signals and knowing when to reach out is part of, some people will call it the game, some people will call it just reality. It's important. Can we talk a little bit about that? Because
sure.
It wasn't long ago I used to lean into profile views, but that's all I invested time in. Now kind of opened my eyes that, hey, there's engagement. I'm responding to people. There are second degree and third degree connections who have taken the time to engage with what I'm talking about, who are engaging with what I'm writing. There are opportunities to reach out, connect, and grow your community through that, right?
Absolutely.
It's more effective to engage with those who have embedded themselves in your content than it is to come up with a cold outreach strategy and reach out to complete strangers in hopes that they'll accept your invite.
Exactly. I don't think it's a good highest and best use of my time to try to talk to every single person that's looked at my profile. But I'll look at their profile, then I'll go into the Linkbound app, see have they engaged in my content, have they commented, and so I do reach out to some of them. But I'm getting a lot more selective in who I reach out to. Before it used to be a generic, "Hi, thanks for visiting my profile. Can I help you with something specific?" And of course now I've honed in a little bit better on those.
And that's part of progression. That's part of the evolution, right?
Yes.
We started. Where did we meet? On this concept called Social Saturday.
We did.
And we were racing.
It's like the bar scene of LinkedIn.
Right. And we were racing to build a community. And then you reach a point where it's like, all right, I got to remove myself from this environment.
Yeah.
Because it no longer serves me. And if you want it to grow, you have to shift and pivot. And we've had conversations about shifting and pivoting. So
we should be reading the LinkedIn Room every day and pivoting accordingly, or maybe every week or so. I mean, we don't want to change with the wind, but we need to be paying attention.
Yeah, absolutely. Paying attention is key, and stay on top of the trends. And don't be like a squirrel and pivot like on the hour. Oh, Shelly said this, I'm going to start doing this.
Yeah.
Gary Vee said this. Oh my goodness, I got to do a Gary Vee because Gary Vee's a bigger voice than Shelly's. And then
all of ours put together on LinkedIn except for Gary. Yeah.
But
I love him though.
So do I. And his backstory is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Now the last question, or the last topic I want to talk about when it comes to content. And you and I were speaking about this before we went live. It happens periodically. Some of us react to it differently. However, the question is, what do we do when when your post flops? Do we delete it? Do we tweak it? Do we let it ride?
I did a poll on this. Yeah, yeah.
Let's talk about that poll, and let's talk about the outcome of that poll.
I don't remember. Forgive me. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Let me look for it. I do recall, just shooting from the hip, most people, like the majority, I want to say like a third, deleted, and the rest of us don't. And I've only done it maybe once or twice. So I didn't see that it did me any good. So yep, here it is. So yes. Oh, I was very close. 34% of the respondents have deleted a post due to poor performance, and then everybody else, 2/3, had not. So I think there's an argument to be made. Like, so here's how I would put it for me, for Shelly. So my post today flopped, utterly flopped. I'm like, it's like the best hook ever. I don't know what's wrong with the algorithm, but my feelings were hurt. But I'm proud of that post, right? I think it's a good story. It talks about, there's a little bit of my personal story, and it segues nicely into what I'm doing now, LinkedIn, building a brand. So I'm proud of that post. I think it's decently written for me, and I'm going to keep it up there. And I might repost it at another time. Now, if I had written a post shooting from the hip, going 100 miles an hour, and got all these typos, and I realized it was just, a crummy piece of content, I might delete that. And I've done that once or twice. So it all boils down to an answer to your question: should we keep it on or delete it? It depends upon what your goal is. So for me, I try to be proud of everything I put up. I want to have a sense of accomplishment every time I put a post up. I want it to be something I'm be proud for my 14-year-old niece to read and my adult nephews. So I already put a lot of love and care into my content. So most of the time I'm not going to delete. All That's right. My answer. How about you?
I believe I answered that poll question with, I would delete it. And you can keep me honest, and you can keep me humble. I think you can.
Let me see if I can find you. I'm looking. But I will say I get very good interaction on polls. So I have to go through hundreds of people, or over 100 people.
I'm almost certain that I voted that it comes down.
I'm not finding. Oh, there you are. Yep, you did. You did.
So if it flatlines, it's coming down. I'll resurrect it at a different time, different day. I don't believe it flopped because the content was bad. It just could have been bad timing, which is a segue to another question, which I've noticed in your content. And not that I'm stalking your content, but
please feel free.
I feel that we learn from one another, and we can feed off of one another. And
yes,
like you, I look at what other people are doing, and I'm sure others look at what I'm doing to see if there's something that they can lean and leverage on. I noticed that you're reposting more frequently than you have in the past.
Yes,
is that part of your strategy? Is that part of?
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about that?
It's a newer one. So when I first started, and I still had my LinkedIn posting floaties on, I had a hard time coming up with ideas for what to post. So I would find a really solid post where I could add my 2 cents, and I would add I'd repost with thoughts and post it. And I learned a lot with that process, but I have since learned it is, for the kind of authority I want to build, it is better for me, to post my own content. Now, if I want to share the word, of one of my friends, connections, or an influencer, I repost without thoughts. And so that is more as a public service rather than trying to do for my own visibility. Now, As far as me reposting my own content, what I've learned through observation and from studying is reposting necessarily doesn't do anything in the algorithm, but what it might do is you put it back out there, and someone, in a different time zone that didn't see it the first time has an opportunity to see it. And I have noticed, since I've been good about doing that 6 to 8 hours after, most of my posts have been performing better. So, and and for me, since most of the time these days I post in the afternoon, I can't repost it at 10 o'clock and stay around to comment for another hour. I'm going to bed.
Right.
So I'm not doing another power hour, golden hour after, but I seem to get more traffic doing this. So,
Now,
and I haven't ran numbers. I haven't run my data in a while, but I think it's
I'm wondering. I'm sorry. I'm wondering if some of that has to do with, just captivating a different part of your audience at a different time, or is part of that simply the longer tail that LinkedIn has provided? I noticed that posts stick around a lot longer, and they don't.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Fade off. I'm curious to see how, if you have any data down the road.
I will share it
resurrect and bring it up on an upcoming episode.
Yes, that would be interesting.
All right, breaking news. We have exceeded 100 comments, and Meryl wants some sound effects. All right, we got some applause. Kind of lost track of any questions that may have been asked because the comments and the engagement has moved quite rapidly. Thank you, everyone, for being engaged. I'm just going to lean over here because the sun has set a little earlier here. It's a little overcast. There we are. We got some lighting. Things are getting dark in here. Okay, I want to queue up the engagement tool and see how much we can test this with our audience when it comes to engaging, when it comes to content. So bear with me. I'm going to get this up and running again.
Ooh.
All right, so we have, so some good global presence.
We do.
I really like that. Let's test something else out here. All right, for those who are still with us, let's ask the question: what's one word that defines your current content strategy? So write it in the comments, and let's test out this tool and see how it reacts or interacts with our audience. I'm going to jump in and write a word of my own. And I'm frozen here.
Uh-oh.
All right, we got, here we go. Let's try this. Here we are, slowly starting to come in. So
I like that.
Some are describing their content. Spaghetti. Kenneth Dunner.
Now you're making me hungry.
Unsupervised metaphor. So really liking this tool, Stream Alive. I enjoy testing things out and seeing how I can integrate some of these fantastic tools into events. So thank you, everyone who is participating. I really enjoy this. Let's test this next question. How do you consume content? Love to hear how people consume content. Some of us are just silent observers. We're going through doom scrolling, no commenting, no engaging. How do you engage with content?
I'll type my answer.
All right.
Oh, that was me.
It was me as well.
Oh, okay.
that is funny. All right.
It doesn't have my name on there. That is so funny.
There's probably a delay, I would imagine. All right, I'm having fun with this. This is great. All right, let's move on to the next question. What's your biggest content challenge? So for those in the audience, what are you struggling with the most? Is it creating uh, or coming up with ideas? Is it getting audience engagement? Is it measuring your return on your investment? You're spending all this time, these endless amount of hours, and you're getting crickets. Or maybe it's something completely different. Oh, and it's starting to rain. That's why it got dark so fast here.
Uh-oh.
All right. Do we not have any engagement on this question?
It says we have 10 comments already, so we have to upgrade to get more.
Ah, gotcha. All right. So good to know. Yes, I'm testing this out on the free version, and I wanted to make a informed decision on whether or not investing in an engagement tool is worth it. But this says a lot better than the engagement tool I tested a couple of weeks ago. So I'm glad that this was introduced to me. Let's look at another question. All right, moving on. Well, seeing how we ran out of, or we hit the threshold, I don't think it matters asking the question. Here is some questions that were found in the chat. Are you not entertained? Okay, so this is the banter that's going on throughout the show. It's fantastic. Our top commenters, congratulations to Kenneth Dunner, the winner
Thank you.
by a short distance following behind William Rochelle. So everyone who's engaged in the comments, in the conversation, I want to take a moment to thank each and every one of you for being part of the conversation and being part of this test. I really, really enjoy what I'm seeing here. Going to test out the analytics on the back end, after the show and see what those look like. And right now, this is the front runner in terms of engagement tools that I've tested. I really like how it played out. Might invest in this and look at fitting it into other virtual events. If anyone has any other ideas, suggestions, or knows of other platforms that I can test, feel free, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear that. All right. So today's conversation was all about content strategy. We try not to get too deep in the weeds, try to keep it lighthearted. I really enjoyed today's conversation. I'm happy that you had a fantastic time in your travels. Glad to see that the jet lag has been shaken off.
Mostly.
And you've rolled up your sleeves and you're back in action.
Yes.
Great to see you engaging. I'm glad that the strategy that you're working on is working. I'm seeing what you're doing. I really, really enjoy and look forward to some new content or different content that you probably have up your sleeve that you'll kind of trickle out in due course.
Yes, they are.
For the rest of the community, I want to thank you once again. We are at the top of the hour, and to keep this respectful and mindful of everyone's time and investment, hope you got some great value out of today's session. If you have comments, you have suggestions, or you simply want to reach out to one of us, drop us a DM. Let's get Shelly's QR code up. All right. Shelly, for those who are not connected with you, how can they get a hold of you?
Well, thank you for asking. So first of all, you can, of course, reach me on LinkedIn. I think I'm the only Shelly K. Spence on there. So The best place, though, actually would be going to my website, shelleysocials.com, and I have a contact form there, and that way it won't slip in the cracks, or slip through the cracks. But I'd love to hear from you. And I do both cohort teaching. We do have our next session coming up, and also I do individual one-on-one coaching, or just one-on-one sessions. So anyway, I would love to meet you.
All right. I am going to, with your permission, next time we go live, you want that QR code pointing to your website? We can do that for you.
Oh, let's do that. Thank you.
All right,
You're very good with all this stuff. Yeah.
Let's do that. And seeing how we're keeping this lighthearted, your headline, Classic Rock Lover. So if your profile were an album cover, what album cover would it be?
Oh, too many choices. I cannot pick. Right now, today, it would be one of the Led Zeppelin albums. Bruce Springsteen's good, Spencer. Yeah, my favorite rock artist. It's a toss-up between Rush and Led Zeppelin because they both have phenomenal drummers. You have John Bonham, who's very he's the rock and roll, like, got a lot of rhythm and you want to dance to it. And then you have Neil Peart out of he was part of Rush out of Canada. He's technically perfect. I could listen to some of his music every day. It just amazes me. So those are my two favorites. So yes, Dancing in the Dark is good too. Okay. Does that answer your question?
We struck a chord here. We got.
I could talk about rock and roll all day. And right. I didn't want to post about Ozzy. I always liked him, but I felt like it was just a little bit too dark for my brand. I just didn't know. And then I thought of a post, but it was kind of late. It was today. It's the first time I had turned on an AM or an FM radio in my life. I got a little white FM radio for Christmas, and I'm playing with it. And it's the old clock radios with the tiles, if you remember those. Yep, Metallica's good too. And I found the AM dial, and I just stumbled across Black Sabbath's Iron Man. And that was an iconic moment for my life. So maybe I'll write about it in that context. We'll see.
I'll look forward to it, because I'm getting tired of hearing Coldplay, which, by the way, has been on my playlist. I'm not going to lie to you. It has struck a chord. It's like, oh my God.
I have one song.
I haven't played Coldplay in quite some time. Let me pull up my playlist, and it's what I've been listening to, thanks to poor decisions.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said, thanks to the poor decisions of two executives, I am now on this Coldplay bandwagon.
That's hysterical. I listen to the Beatles too. Yes, Scott. Ozzy was a dark character, but I think a lot of that, now that I'm older and wiser, a lot of that was just his personal branding. Because, he tapped into a market that appreciated that vibe. I don't know if any of you follow Leah Turner. She's out of the UK, and she's a great follow. I recommend her. And she's kind of, she's a great businesswoman, but, very unique. And she posted about Ozzy. She went to one of his concerts, and I know we're going over, but I want to share this one thing. She went to one of his concerts, and she was younger than a little goth chick and just, adorable. But, he looked at her, she somehow ran into him, and he said, "Thank you for enjoying the show." And he said, "Take care of yourself." And it really touched her, so I think he had a soft heart in there somewhere. And I like that. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Our friend Lynn is saying more live events. Well, that's
kind of my fault. I'm just so busy anymore. So maybe.
Let's
I'm going.
Yeah, go ahead.
I am going to start doing some on my own, but they're going to be Strong Women of LinkedIn.
Strong Women.
Strong Women of LinkedIn. And just, I have my list, and then I'll do something else. But, Lenny Kravitz is good too. Yes.
That's awesome. I'm so happy to hear that you're leaning into the event space as well.
Yeah. I'm not you, though. That's why I procrastinated. That part, the technical part, doesn't interest me at all.
Yeah, the technical part is something I had to learn.
Yeah, I don't really want
to. But the whole marketing side of it, and I just found that this is my sweet spot. I no longer have my content competing with an event. I build my content strategy around my events.
Yeah.
The awareness, there's the event, and then there's the post-event commenting. I made a commitment, and you and I agreed that as our businesses started to pick up steam, we were doing these LinkedIn literacy events bi-weekly. We've moved them to a monthly event.
Yeah,
We're
we can go
still,
back to biweekly now that I've settled down from my trip. Yeah.
hey, you know what? We can talk about that offline because we still have the group events that we
Yes.
host. I know that our community is here to support whatever decisions we make. But if people want more and we can fit in more and keep our customers happy, we're happy to give back to the community.
Thank you. Keith's wanting us to go longer.
Keith
But I'm
wants us to go longer.
It's hard to be perky for more than an hour for me. Forgive
Yeah,
me.
Keith's record is, I believe, just over 6 hours. And,
Oh my.
yeah,
Yeah.
but he's got it down packed. I can tell you that
Yeah.
he's got his ducks all lined up, and I don't mind going longer. Um, but I know when I'm co-hosting, not everyone feels the same energy. We're also in different time zones. We're all also competing with different priorities. I might have some extra time, some free time, but everyone else who's here might not. So I try to be respectful of those who attend and invest time with us. When I commit to an hour, I'd like to stick it to an hour. I'm
I
always
get
open.
it.
I'm always open to letting it ride. I enjoy, and I've participated in Keith's shows, and I've gone for those 3 and 4 hour marathons, and I love it.
I can't.
It's better than television. It's better than streaming. It's real life.
Yeah.
And it's not. There's no Hollywood. There's no. It doesn't. It's not vanilla. How's that? We're always having a great conversation.
Yes.
All right.
Well, thank you,
So,
everybody.
Thank you, everyone. I, as always, will turn to those comments, engage with anything that we may have missed. It has been a fantastic hour. Thank you for participating in the testing that I've conducted throughout this episode. I think I'm going to make the small investment. But before I do that, I'd like to see what other products are out there in the marketplace. But this one right now is leading the pack. Thank you. Let's cue up some exit music. And until next time.